Can I just... Where's the camera? There it is. I just walked into my disaster of a room and got finished talking to my house guests, and walking back to my room, I found your note. I'm so excited! A real letter in the mail that you spent. Look at this. Wait, look at this. You actually wrote that out with a pen. Holy shit, dude. That's neat. You like a letter opening. See what I got the other day at the flea market? Isn't it pretty? Thought you'd like it. A real letter. Oh my god, it has sides and fun corners. I love it! Oh my god, he writes in cursive. You, sir, are a man of the highest degree of class, at least in particular matters. Dear Sarah, yes, that's me. I'm hoping this letter finds you healthily happy. First of all, yes. I'm so friggin' healthy and happy. It's ridiculous. I'm in this like awesome stage of my life where everything's fucking awesome all the time, and I'm pretty aware of it. In finding time for creativity and adventure. Wait a minute. This is the second letter. I got another letter. This isn't even the original letter. This is so cool. Because this one's dated July 31st. And that was after my birthday, but the letter I got in the mail was before that. This is so fucking cool. I'm sure you're being creative and having some real adventure, because that is so you. And being happy and healthy are in direct proportion to how creative you make yourself and adventure you seek. I should get a grant to study this idea. You can come study me, and I'll study you. If I do get a grant, I use you as a case study. That's what I just said. I'm currently reading The Letters of Ethan Allen and his kin. Ethan Allen, the furniture person? Who's Ethan Allen? Should I stop the video and go look him up? A 2-volume set to get all the language of that time in regards to the things and ideas that were important to these people of the frontier. Oh, I love frontier things. I mean, I should be more specific. I don't read books on it, but I'm constantly telling my friends things like, they're like, oh my god, like the weather app was like not accurate. They said it was gonna rain. I'm like, aren't you glad that you didn't have to chop wood in order to build the fire to warm up the oatmeal of the oats that you had to plant last spring and then harvest and then store correctly so that by the end of winter they weren't rotted? Like, aren't you super psyched that you didn't even have to feed your horse or beg your horse to like ride you 30 miles to work today? Like, I'm constantly like, what is your problem? You go from climate controlled environment to climate controlled environment. Like, you don't even need a fucking jacket. Like, not like even using a jacket is like amazing. Like, think about just boots on your feet. People just completely take them for granted. I'm like, your boots are amazing. That shit is hard to make, to sew yourself and to have wear. I live in the forest as part of my research to really know these forests and to write compelling narratives. I am so enjoying the regular thunderstorms at night. I was delighted with an awesome lightning show a week or so back. It seems that I really enjoy writing during these storms by candlelight. That's so cool. Except that great lightning show. Except for that great lightning show. I just kept saying, wow. It was really the best lightning of the entire time here, and I've been here for a lot of storms. Because I spend so much time reading and writing, I sit too much. and will go swimming as often as I can. Some days I will swim a few times. The most yet is 5 times in one day. That's how I count how many times I've had sex. And I'm like, well, I usually try to have sex like once a day, but like 3 is great. Like 5 is like amazing. Because I get to make sweet, sweet love to Chris because he's so great. And when I'm near him, I just like, it's just wonderful. When you remember like why men and women liked and remember to make love, it's like swimming. I really spend almost all of my time alone. Oh, I mean, maybe that's what you're there for. And the people I'm really closest to here are the people who own and run a cool record shop in downtown Montpelier. They share half of the space with a really cool vintage clothing shop. Cool. All of these people are the ones who know me better than anyone else here. Nate, the owner of the record shop, a musician himself, knows that I do not want to have any other social life other than with them. Nate will even call me Kenny now and then. What's great is that they really pimp Daptone Records. Daptone is a client, and its founder, Gabe Roth, is a good friend. Gabe's dad, Andy, and I are regular pen pals. He digs the old school act of writing and mailing letters. On my birthday, while writing at the only stoplight in downtown Montpelier for the walk, I heard someone behind me yell out my name first and last twice, and it totally freaked me out. That would totally freak me out. I really make was it Gabe Roth? Right? It freaked me out. I really make an effort here to be unknown. It was Nate from the record shop, tracking me down to buy me 2 little chocolate cakes for my birthday. Oh. I told him it freaked me out. Riverside, too much. Here, what the fuck? We laughed and got cakes. More soon. Love, Ken. So, I'm going to pen you a letter verbally right now. Dear Ken, I just arrived home. It is nearly 2 a.m. It was a long, beautiful, hot, hard-working, full of laughter, fun, exciting, busy, full of people and different events kind of day. I took an Uber to work today because I got a really great deal. It's only a penny to ride on 20 different Uber rides anywhere in Boston. At work, I'm casing out doors and windows. I have 4¼ inch wide trim on either side of the doors and 5-inch tall headstock on tops of the doors with 2½ inch crown plus a cap plus plinth blocks, base molding, base cap. And I spend most of my day using a chop saw and a nail gun. I've gotten very good at cutting exact angles. I've gotten very good at making very precise cuts and having the end product look immaculate. My angles are perfect. My cuts are perfect. They require the least amount of work between the stages of cutting and painting, which is often a lot of sanding. So I'm getting a lot of credit at work for coming up with neat ways to be efficient and faster, smoother ways to do things. I took 2 friends on a tour after work today. I walked into a bar and saw my new bassist, my new keyboardist was playing in the band on stage at the brewery. And then I turned around and my drummer was there. I was like, Bill! And Bill was with his pregnant wife, Kelly. I was like, what are you guys doing here? And we all partied. And I was taking a friend on tour from LA who might consider coming to live here in Boston. I was like, you have to come see Artisans Asylum. And I took them all on tour of Artisans Asylum, which in itself is like a fucking dream, and you need to come there. It's 40,000 square feet, so it's 3 huge warehouses, and Ken, you would fucking love it. There's jewelers and hackers and architects and artisans and bike enthusiasts and fine finish workers, welders, furniture makers. There's tons of equipment. There's machinists and welders and like big art projects and little art projects and like custom maps and like people building satellites and robots, and it is so fucking cool. And sometimes when I'm really quiet, I live on the 3rd floor, and there's this particular type of buzzing that happens that is not unlike the sound of crickets. Now I have really good ears, so it just takes a second for me to realize that what I'm actually hearing, I think, is the lights. You know how people say that if you were paying attention, you'd see that these lights, these light bulbs, are actually like your eye sees continuous light, but if you were to slow it down and you saw like 60 frames in a second, what you'd see is that the light is actually going and I think I can hear it because the sound stops when I turn off the light. Anyways, you'd love the view from my apartment. I can see about 180 degrees around Boston. And I'm psyched that you get to live in a house in Vermont. I think that's rather adventurous. In a month, I go on fruit tree tour. I'll tell you more about that later. I'm going to get on a bus with a bunch of other hippies and plant trees at public schools up and down the coast of California. And then I'm going to New Mexico to chase hot air balloons in a huge hot air balloon festival. They take off in the morning and you ride around in a car and chase them around until they land, and then you pack up the hot air balloon and bring it back to camp. It's great. I hope you're good. And I really liked your letter to me. It's very cool. It's really fun to realize a couple of minutes into the letter that this is an additional letter, and that the one that I'm looking for in this pile of clothes, because I'm a disaster, is still down there somewhere. I'm gonna go look for it. Anyways, there's 13 minutes, which I feel like could be a very long time or a medium amount of time, depending on what you think. This reminds me of The Jerk. Remember in The Jerk when Steve Martin was like, I feel like I've known you for 9 months and 4 days, even though it's only been 5 months and 6 days. And like, well, the first day I met you felt like 3 days. And then the second day I was with you, it felt like 3.5 days. And then the third day that I was hanging out with you felt like 2 days. And then the fourth day it felt like 5 days. And the sixth day, well, you went to your mother's, and so it was just a regular day. But the seventh day felt like 8 days. And so he's adding them all up. It's so funny. I can tell by the way that I'm blinking that I'm very tired. So I'm going to nod off. And that's it. That's it for now. Hope you're good. Talk to you soon. And thanks for dealing with looking at me like this is about as ragtag as it gets right here. I don't know. Bye.